You've seen these places on the biggest shows and movies of the last decade. A sun-drenched cliffside hotel where beautiful rich people quietly fall apart. A medieval city of red rooftops ruled by dragons. An alien desert with sand that stretches to the horizon. A green rolling village straight out of a fantasy. A hidden beach so perfect it looks fake. Here's the thing your brain quietly assumes but never actually questions. Every single one of these is a real place. A place you can fly to. A place you can walk into and stand in the exact spot the camera stood. Today, I'll show you the real locations behind the shows you binged, what it actually costs to be inside the shot, the ones being loved to death, and the one catch nobody warns you about. Let's go. This has a name now, and it's officially one of the biggest travel trends of the decade, set jetting. Booking an entire trip based on the show or movie you just finished. And it is not some tiny niche. Survey after survey says a huge majority of younger travelers now pick where they go straight from what they watch on a screen. Think about how insane that is. Streaming quietly became the most powerful travel brochure in human history, beaming these locations into hundreds of millions of living rooms at once. But that's also the problem. Everyone is watching the same 3 or 4 massive hits, which means everyone wants the same handful of spots, which means these places are getting absolutely slammed. So we're gonna do this the smart way. The real locations, the honest prices, the ones worth it, the ones to be careful with, and how to pull it off without becoming part of the problem. Number 1 is the one that broke the internet. Number 1, that gorgeous, slightly menacing cliffside resort from the 2nd season of the White Lotus. That's Taormina, a hilltop town on the east coast of Sicily in Italy. And the hotel itself is a real, very expensive luxury property perched right over the sea. Staying in the actual show hotel can run well over $1,000 a night in high season, which, let's be honest, is out of reach for almost all of us. But here is the move that unlocks this entire video. You do not need the hotel to get the place. Taormina is a public town anyone can walk into. You can climb to the same ancient Greek theater with the same jaw-dropping view of the sea and the smoking peak of Mount Etna behind it. Wander the same little piazzas, eat the same granita and brioche for breakfast, swim in the same turquoise coves below the cliffs, all for the price of a totally normal Italian trip. Remember this because it's the pattern for everything today. The set is expensive, but the setting is basically free. Number 2. King's Landing, the sprawling capital city from Game of Thrones, with its massive stone walls and terracotta rooftops tumbling straight down into the sea. That is Dubrovnik, on the Adriatic coast of Croatia. And here is what makes it special. It isn't a set that got built and torn down. It's a real medieval walled city that has stood there for centuries. You can walk the actual ramparts the show filmed on, looking out over that impossibly blue water. You can stand at the top of the real staircase from one of the show's most infamous scenes. You can take a kayak or a boat around the same glittering coastline and out to the island they used for other locations. It is, genuinely, one of the most beautiful cities in all of Europe. The catch here is the crowd. Dubrovnik got so overwhelmed by fame that the city started limiting how many cruise ship passengers can pour into the old town on a given day, just to keep it from being physically crushed. The fix is simple. Go in spring or fall instead of peak summer. Show up early in the morning before the day trippers arrive, and you can have King's Landing almost entirely to yourself. Number 3. The alien desert planet of Arrakis, from Dune. Those endless rust-red dunes and those towering, wind-carved rock formations are not CGI, and they are not another planet. That's Wadi Rum, in the country of Jordan. A protected desert valley so otherworldly it is doubled as Mars and a dozen different alien worlds in film after film, because there is genuinely nowhere else on Earth that looks like it, and this is where set jetting delivers unreal value. You can sleep in a bubble camp or a Bedouin tent under a sky so full of stars it looks fake. Ride a 4x4 or a camel through the exact canyons the film crews used, and do the whole thing for a fraction of what one night in that Sicilian hotel costs. And here is the bonus. Jordan puts you right next to Petra, the 2,000-year-old city carved directly into rose-colored rock, the one you've also seen in 100 movies. 2 of the most cinematic places on the entire planet, stacked into one single trip. This is set jetting at its absolute best. Okay, so far the pattern is clean, real show, real place, go stand in it. But the next 2 locations are where set jetting gets genuinely tricky. One is a rare miracle you almost never get, and the other is a warning that could change how you travel for the rest of your life. Stick with me. Number 4, the Shire. The impossibly green rolling hills dotted with those little round hobbit doors from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Now, normally this is exactly where set jetting breaks down, because movie sets almost always get bulldozed the second filming wraps. This one did not. Hobbiton, built on a working sheep farm near the town of Matamata, New Zealand, was rebuilt permanently and kept, and today you can walk right through it. The actual hobbit hole set into the hillside, the little mill, the party tree from the opening, ending with a pint of specially brewed ale in the Green Dragon Inn. This is the rare, almost magical case, where you don't just visit the location that stood in for the fantasy, you visit the actual set, preserved down to the tiny hand-painted details, exactly as it looked on screen. For any fan, it's a genuine pilgrimage, and it turns New Zealand, already one of the most staggeringly beautiful countries on Earth, into a place where you're constantly stepping directly into the film. Number 5 is the most beautiful place on this list, and the single most important warning in this whole video. That flawless hidden beach, ringed by towering green cliffs, made world famous by the movie The Beach. That's Maya Bay in Thailand, and its story is a cautionary tale every traveler should know. After the film blew up, so many tourists flooded in day after day, boat after boat, that they physically destroyed the ecosystem. The coral died. The marine life vanished. The very thing that made it paradise was trampled out of existence. It got so bad that Thailand did something drastic. They shut the entire bay down completely, for years, just to give nature a chance to heal. It has since carefully reopened, but now with strict limits, caps on how many people can come, where you can walk, and whether you can even go in the water. Maya Bay is the perfect, painful symbol of set jetting's dark side. When a screen makes a place famous overnight, a wave of us can love that place to death. Which brings us to the one rule that matters more than any single location on this list. And those 5 are just the headliners. The trend runs way deeper, so here is a rapid-fire bonus round of places you can also step straight into. Paris, endlessly reborn for a new generation through shows about a young American chasing romance and croissants, and unlike the others, it's a giant city that can absorb the crowds. Bath, in England, all honey-colored Georgian crescents, standing in for the glittering ballrooms of Bridgerton. The dramatic, misty castles and forests of Transylvania and Romania, riding the wave of a certain gothic teenage hit. The vast, snow-capped mountains of Alberta, Canada, doubling as a collapsed America in one of the biggest video game adaptations ever made. Iceland and Northern Ireland, quietly standing in for half the fantasy worlds you've ever seen. The point is simple. Whatever you just binged, there is almost certainly a real, reachable place behind it. And the less famous ones are often the most rewarding because you get the magic without the mob. But let's be honest about the catch, because it's bigger than any one beach. When a place goes viral on screen, the people who actually live there don't get a say. Rents spike as apartments turn into short-term rentals. Tiny streets built for a few hundred people choke under a few thousand. Locals get priced out of their own hometown so that strangers can grab a photo in front of a spot from a show. Dubrovnik capping cruise crowds. Maya Bay shutting entirely. These aren't random. They're the visible symptoms of the same thing. A place being consumed faster than it can breathe. Set jetting is genuinely one of the most fun ways to decide where to go. But if we all just swarm the same 5 shots and leave, we turn the places we love into theme parks and then wonder why they lost their soul. So here's how to actually do it right. Here's the playbook. 1. Go in shoulder season, spring or fall instead of peak summer. You got thinner crowds, lower prices, and softer light, and you take pressure off the place at its most fragile moment. 2. Go early or late in the day. The exact same viewpoint. That's a screaming mob at noon is often silent and glowing at 7 in the morning. 3. Chase the lesser filmed spot. If a show uses 5 locations in a country and everyone stampedes the one famous one, go stand in the other 4. They're just as real and almost empty. 4. Spend your money locally. The family-run guest house, the neighborhood restaurant, the local guide, so the place you fell in love with actually benefits from you being there. To these 4 things, and you flip from being part of the problem to being exactly the kind of traveler these towns are happy to see. And come back to the money rule from the very beginning, because it saves you a fortune. The set is expensive. The setting is basically free. You almost never need the $1,000 hotel room, the private boat, or the exclusive tour to get the thing you actually came for. The cliffs of Taormina, the walls of Dubrovnik, the dunes of Wadi Rum, the streets of Paris, those are public, open, and yours to walk for the price of showing up. What the luxury version sells you is a bed with a view. What the place itself gives you for almost nothing is the view. Once you really internalize that, set jetting stops being this unaffordable rich person fantasy and turns into one of the most accessible ways there is to see the world. Now zoom out, because something genuinely new is happening here. For most of history, people traveled to the handful of places a guidebook or a postcard told them were worth seeing. That's over. Today, a single hit show can take a town almost nobody had heard of and turn it into a global bucket list obsession in a matter of weeks. Streaming didn't just change what we watch, it quietly rewired where an entire generation dreams of going. That's a staggering amount of power aimed at real places full of real people. And it means we, the ones sitting on the couch pressing play, are also, without realizing it, deciding which corners of the world get flooded next. Which is why the real role, the one that matters more than any location, is this: chase the setting, not just the scene. The travelers who hollow these places out show up, grab the one exact frame from the show, trample the spot, and leave, having seen nothing. The travelers who get the actual magic go for the location and then genuinely explore the country wrapped around it. The food, the history, the language, the ordinary streets the cameras never bothered to film. Do that, and set jetting stops being a checklist of photos and becomes the best excuse there is to fall in love with a whole part of the world you'd never otherwise have visited. A show you loved becomes a doorway. That's the difference between a tourist chasing a picture and a traveler chasing an experience. So, back to those 5 places from the opening. The cliffside resort, the dragon city of red rooftops, the alien desert planet, the green fantasy village, the perfect hidden beach. Every single one of them is real. Every single one of them is reachable. Some cost a fortune to sleep in and nothing at all to stand in. Some are being crushed by their own fame and reward you for going smart, going early, and going gently. But all of them prove the same wild, wonderful thing. The worlds you fall in love with on a screen were never invented out of thin air. They were real all along, just waiting for you to finally show up. Your next binge might genuinely be your next boarding pass. If this made you look at your watch list a little differently, subscribe. Every week I turn one show or movie into a real trip you can actually take. And if you want the one country, the US, government literally warns people to avoid, the one that hundreds of thousands of travelers swear is the trip of a lifetime, that video is on your screen right now. Go watch it.